up, guys? This is Rise, and welcome to another video here in the Mountain Cup, where I have a Macargo team coming at you hot, and it's also featuring Empoleon in the back. Two fun picks in this cup, and the more meta Frostlass, and you guys are gonna see Macargo go absolutely ham. This was like the first day of the new cup, and I don't think people were really anticipating Magcargo. People are trying to get a feel for the meta, and we just get so many positive leads, and some teams are double weak to Magcargo lead, and it's just so dominant. So we go on a pretty epic run here, and you're going to see what elo we wind up at. So opponent safe swaps Lapras here. Water Gun Lapras, pretty safe Pokemon in this meta. There's only a few really hard checks. Maybe like Ferrothorn would be a pretty hard check. But knowing that it's going to be tough for Empoleon to secure this matchup, that's why I Rock Tombed and then went to Empoleon. So we get the debuff. We're going to overfarm here. It does look like Lapras can shield and Water Gun down if they so choose. So let's see. But no, they actually decide to let it go. And then Mawaile's going to get the Fire Fang down. I'm going to come in Cargo, and there's a Gliscor in back. So this is pretty comfortable. I probably no shield. No, I do shield, just in case they get cheeky and go for like the Earthquake. Because now I know I can take a Night Slash, and I can simply get a shield from Mawile. I only am going to get to one move here, so I'm just going to go for the Shadow Ball. And Mawile probably only has about 5 Fire Fangs worth of energy after it farms down Frost. So we should be in good shape here. That it's not going to quite get to an Iron Head. And what move is coming through? Just a power-up punch. We can take that. It is super effective, but Pup's a pretty weak move. And we're going to blast Overheat the Shadow Mawile. Let me know in the comments how much damage does that Overheat do to a Shadow Mawile in the Great League. It's always fun to look at those damages. But yeah, Macargo, pretty bulky. It's got Incinerate, which of course generates energy quite quickly in a sense. 20 energy per 5 turns, so it's pretty good, Ray. It's not quite as good as like a Mud Shot, but still pretty good energy generation. And it also does decent damage as well, as you see, especially against this Escavalier. And our opponent's probably thinking like, you know, this isn't that bad. Like, at least I'm dealing super effective, but it's pretty bad for Escav with those double super effective Incinerates. And here's a shiny Diggersby. And this is looking pretty good for us. They swap into Ferrothorn. And at this point, the game is just over, right? Because we have no need to shield our Frostlass. We can simply let it go. Farm down with Macargo. And, you know, actually, I take that back. I am totally wrong, actually. Because if Pharaoh gets to a Power Whip here, suddenly we're faced with a weird predicament where we have to kind of let this go because Diggersby does have access to Earthquake for Empoleon. And if the Diggersby has any residual energy, it's going to outpace us here. So what I decide to do here is I have to make a call. Is it the Earthquake? And it's a Fire Punch bait. And this is going to allow us to secure the victory. We throw after 3 for proper timing. We're going to grab the last shield. And the Digmeister is going to throw, but that's all right. We still got a shield. We're going to shield it up. Just a Fire Punch bait and throw our Hydro. Of course, we're going to win CMP. Empoleon with a very high attack over the bulky Diggersby. Also, that wasn't a CMP. I was just saying in case of a CMP. Yeah, Empoleon wins CMP over things you wouldn't even expect in Great League. Like, it wins CMP over Frostlass. So, if you're ever in that situation, keep in mind. Because I think the first time I had like been in that matchup in probably a previous meta, I remember being surprised that Frostlass lost CMP to Empoleon, so keep that in mind. Most of the starters have a pretty high attack, right? And here we go. Searching for the next opponent. Battle started. Luis Carrel, 24. Cargo into Escav. They swap into Water Gun Lap. Okay, so we saw this in the first battle, right? I'm going to Rock Tomb, and then I'm going to dip into Empoleon. And this trainer, yeah, remember they actually take the Rock Tomb So this is going to actually be a really nice farm down for Empoleon. And Empoleon is not really threatened by any of Lapras's moves. They do land the Skull Bash, which is a very hard-hitting move, so it is going to chunk. But check this out. I'm going to come out with almost 2 Hydro Cannons. So if they come back in with Escavalier, they're going to have to shield, man, because Hydro Cannon is a very strong move. Escavalier is a more attack-weighted Pokemon, so these Hydras are definitely going to hurt. We get a shield. We go back to back. Are they going to double shield the Escav? Go down 2 shields? They are not. They're going to take the second one. I'm going to come in with Cargo. I'm expecting him to swap out, but that's fine. I come in Cargo. He does 1 counter and dips, and we've got Frost versus Diggersby up a shield. Pretty dang comfortable matchup here for the Ice Queen, Frostlass. And we're going for the Avalanche. Look out below. And yeah, this is really comfortable matchup for Frost. As you see, as long as you have a decent IV Frostlass, going to be able to take 2 Fire Punches before going down. They do less than half from Diggersby. If you had like an attack-weighted Frost, maybe it'd be a little closer. And our opponent just kind of concedes, knowing we still have 2 shields and a Macargo with some health on him. Nice win. Let's go. And let's keep it on trucking. By the way, my fellow sports fans, on my stream we talk about sports from time to time. Let me know in the comments if your team in March Madness is still in it, if you're still rooting. If you guys don't know, I was a student at Marquette University. That's my alma mater, so I was definitely rooting for Marquette. They got knocked out in the second round. Pretty tough, and yikes. Opponent safe swaps their Escav into a Macargo. And this is what I was talking about, right? They're double weak to the Macargo. They Aerial Ace me. What a savage. In comes Gastrodon, and I was going to swap out, and I'm like, wait a sec. I don't need to swap out here because I have an Empoleon for that opposing Frostlass. Oh, and I get this new mechanic here, which is pretty nasty. Probably should have Rock Tomb first, I guess, but that's fine. And I just come in here with Frost right away, because as long as I can tank this energy on Frost, I feel like my Emp should do really well against the Frostlass. So yeah, Gastrodon made things a little bit scary there. If we see a Gastrodon in the lead, that'd actually be pretty bad, because I'd probably be forced to swap Frost, I guess. And then if they swap out, we're kind of just done for. But look, these double resisted Powder Snows doing absolutely nothing, man. So I'm feeling pretty good here. We still have decent health on our Frost, and look at this. He can't even farm down, and I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to shield, because I think that waterfall that just went through is going to KO. And we get 1 waterfall here. And our Frost has a move. G to the G. Bop. Remember, when you say bop, it does 12% more damage. Don't quote me on that. Next battle. Who dares to take on Macargo and the Penguin? I'm a big Empoleon fan. It's not like the strongest Pokemon in the world, but it's pretty decent. It's got a good typing as well. Water Steel. And here we go. Mr. Panasonic. I played him today again, I'm pretty sure. Escav lead, man. Cargo just catching all the leads. And look, he's staying in. He's staying in. Oh my gosh. We're going to shield, respect the drill run. These Incinerates, dude. Doing so much. You go for the overheat. This would be a really good bait opportunity, but I just felt like it's not worth the risk. A little bit sketchy, though. This is a little bit sketchy because G-Fisk is now ahead energy. So you could argue maybe I should have stayed in. I don't know. I do correctly shield the Earthquake. I'm going to throw the Hydro here. I'm expecting him to shield and get to another Earthquake, so we are going to lose Switch here. But let's see if we can still win the game. In a perfect world, we could Powder Snow this down. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should have done 1 Incinerate, because 1 Incinerate might have KO'd. But instead, he gets to land the Rock Slide here. Not ideal. This is going to hurt. And what comes in? Lapras. Water Gun Lapras. And I think I really messed this up. I think I had a win con here. The win con was to immediately swap Macargo. So if we look back here, I just didn't quite recognize it in the moment. We take the Rock Slide on Frost. My Macargo is 2 Incinerates away from its move. So it takes Lapras 14 turns. It's going to take Macargo 10 turns to get to its move here. So if I had immediately swapped and got off my Rock Tomb, I think I win. Well, I guess I would have had to store the Shadow Ball and then swap. And also, he did have the catch opportunity for SCAV. But I just needed to swap here quicker to give myself a chance. By swapping that late, I just didn't even give myself a chance to win the game. So a bit of a misplay there by me. Had a win con, just didn't quite recognize it quickly enough. And didn't play that endgame optimally. But we still get a 4-1 set. Let's go. I'll take those any day of the week. And we get a little Wingull as a reward. 27-17, the elo after that set. And let's keep her moving. Sorry, got a little bit ahead of myself there. Battle started. We saw an Empoleon on the other team. Macargo into Empoleon. Tough lead. So this actually beats both Macargo and Frostlass. But Frostlass doesn't do as bad here as you may think. Because Shadow Ball really hits hard against Empoleon. So it's not the worst matchup in the world. And Frostlass also can reach 2 Shadow Balls here, which is pretty nice. So you can just go straight Shadow Ball. There's really no point in baiting, in my opinion, because you're going to get to 2 moves anyway. I just get this off right away. Nothing fancy. Want to make sure I don't allow the Empoleon to throw another Hydro before I get off that Shadow Ball. So Empoleon has quite a bit of energy, but we did get both shields, so this is kind of tricky. And Emilio, I think, makes a bit of a mistake here. He immediately swaps. Looked like a blind swap on his Runerigus, and this is going to allow us to get to this Hydro and just basically completely knock it out while Rune goes to waste. He comes back in with his own Emp, and I'm thinking, I think Hydro plus Waterfalls should be about enough here. Like, it might be a simul KO, in which case our Macargo up a shield might be okay. And look at that. He actually throws, which is going to give my Macargo another Incinerate. And at this point, I'm just worried it's like a Diggersby or something. But with an Empoleon lead, Diggersby wouldn't make much sense. And it's a Frostlass, so very dominant matchup here for the Snail, the Lava Snail. That is Macargo. Boom! Overheats the Frostlass. Let's go, dude. And it seems like for my couple days of playing this Mountain Cup, the meta changes very quickly. Like, at first I was seeing tons of SCAV Frostlass leads. We see a Ferrothorn lead here, and let's go. What a game. What a battle. Did you guys see that? Did you see that play I made? How I just led the Macargo into the Ferrothorn and they just quit immediately? So much skill, man. So much skill. That's something we joke about on the channel. Whenever there's like a battle that was clearly just team comp. I guess they didn't have a Macargo answer. So we lead here against Lapras. I do stay in for an Incinerate just to see whether it's Ice Shard or Water Gun. Because it's Ice Shard, I can stay in here for a bit and at least probably get a shield from this Rock Tomb. And then I'm going to swap into Frost. And those Incinerates have put it into like Shadow Ball range. And check this out. He actually greets my Frost with an SCAV. This is not a good matchup for SCAV. This is only good for SCAV is if SCAV has the head start. But when Frost has the head start, this is quite dominant. Because I can actually take this and go straight Shadow Ball here and win this matchup. So we're going to take a shield advantage. Unfortunately, Frost is going to get farmed down by Lapras, which isn't ideal. But we're going to be able to align. Oh, he actually comes in with Glide. So obviously Empoleon does well here, but because we know that there's a Lapras, we're actually going to come in here with Cargo. And he catches my Overheat, but like, that's fine. This is going to do a ton of damage. It knocks out the Lapras. So I'm like, okay, so be it. And then I just stay in. I don't do anything fancy. I don't clear my debuff. I just stay in, force him to Earthquake me. And then we save the shield for Emp, because that's a lot of energy expent, right, to go for that Earthquake. There's no way he can bait and then get to another Earthquake. We would just waterfall down by that point. So that is a G to the G. Absolute zero, the next opponent. Great lead to Mawile. Uh-oh, they're staying in. They're staying in, man. Are they double weak? It seems that way. This is such a bad matchup for Mawile. Double resisted Fire Fangs. In comes his own Macargo. And this is kind of a questionable decision by me, what I do here. I Rock Tomb. And then I catch. I mean, I probably could have just swapped right away. But I guess this does kind of make sense. Because this way, he's not going to overheat my Empoleon, which would be threatening to knock out. Overheat being such a strong move. In comes Torterra. I'm like, what the heck? But this is pretty comfortable for us, man. This is pretty hard counter. Macargo for Shadow Mawile. Empoleon for Macargo and Frostlass for the Torterra. Jeez. Yeah, just not a whole lot our opponent could do this game, to be honest. He does have a very fast move-oriented team. I guess not as much with the Macargo. Macargo was running Incinerate. But then he swaps, I swap. And that's a G to the G. Yeah, Macargo, dude, was just too OP. And it's fun when you, like, start a new meta. I feel like this is when I typically have my best runs in GBL. Not always. Sometimes it might be, like, random Open Great League. But when there's, like, a restricted meta or a theme cup, and I can kind of discover, not necessarily discover, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that saw the same thing with Macargo, but like bring a pick that maybe people aren't expecting right off the bat, with Frostlass and S-Cab being like the two most common Pokemon. Macargo, dude, just was going off yesterday. And we're only about halfway through. Sandodu, terrific battler from France. Tough lead. Let's see if we can do anything out of here. In comes Walrein. And this is so awkward, man. This is so awkward. I go for the Shadow Ball. It does land. And I'm really debating whether I want to shield or call the bait here. I shield and he baits me. Very nice bait from Sandodu. I go for an Avalanche here. The problem, right? The problem is if I shield and I go down shields, my Empoleon is going to lose to the Macargo anyway. He does go for the EQ, so at least we got that going for us. I kind of lost track of energy. I might have been able to even farm down there and only take a spear, so... Oh, I take it back. Is this an EQ? It is, so I'm wrong. I definitely couldn't have farmed down. I'm actually going to come in here with Emp, because either there's something in the back weak to it, or he comes in with Whiscash to give us a chance. And what's going to greet? It's going to be a Celio, and I'm thinking, how can I possibly win this? So I build up a bunch of energy. Water Pulse is going to chunk us. And then I swap Cargo. And my goal here is to try and get this Whiscash into, like, Hydro Cannon range. You know what? Maybe it was the Wincon? Maybe the Wincon? Oh, no, I take it back. I was going to say Rock Tomb and then Overheat, because maybe then I could live the Mud Shots, but there's no way I'm living the Mud Shots, even with the debuff. And I have this banked, just hoping by some miracle it can KO. Come on, Empoleon, critical hit. Nah, Whiscash too bulky. And we haven't tried Whiscash yet, but Whiscash also seems like a very solid choice in this meta. Seems like a very solid choice. Pretty neutral across the board, with like Frost, S-Cav, really solid against Empoleon, really good against Macargo. Going up against Zweilous. It's a Lapras lead. Once again, we're going to stay in, see what fast move it's running. It is Ice Shard, so I don't have to dip quite yet. It's important that I chip this thing, because if I don't chip it, it's going to be tough for our Frostlass to deal with it. Like, if I had just simply swapped Frostlass right away, then Lapras is just going to win that matchup, and he's just going to retain Switch. So I could throw the Rock Tomb, then I swap. He's going to chip me here with a Surf. It seems like he doesn't have a great counter. This probably is, yeah, that probably was his Frostlass counter. So I'm going to go for the Shadow Ball here. And we're looking pretty good, especially luring this out. Because Emp is now going to get to avoid it. I shield here, since I know I can outpace to this next Shadow Ball, of course. Going to overfarm a little. Throw the Shadow Ball. Should just about knock out. If Frost comes in, or sorry, if Lapras comes in, I'm hoping we can get to another Shadow Ball here. Let's see what's going to greet our Frostlass. Gliscor. And he's in a tough spot, right? Because if he comes in Lap, he just gets Shadow Balled. So he's kind of forced to come in Gly. And then once he sees what's in back, it's a top left. Top left. Here we go, next battle. Zweilous also, I believe, the brother of Jonkus, very well-known creator, who had a record-breaking run, 10-match winning streak in the Utrecht Regional recently. So, congrats to Jonkus, just an incredible showcase. It's going to be tough for anybody to beat a 10-match win streak in a tournament because he did lose fairly early, round 3. And it was such a massive tournament that there were so many rounds. 10 matches in a row. It's going to be tough for anyone to beat. Cargo versus Dugong. Yeah, so Dugong gets to Water Pulse in 6. So I do respect it here. And he does a really nice bait. So I'm going to throw my Rock Tomb. I think I could have thrown the next one as well. Oh yeah, okay, I do throw the next one as well. And then I probably dip if he shields. Yeah, I dip. It's too difficult to catch because he can easily just throw in between. And he counters my Frost with a Skarmory, and I was very surprised to see this. I was joking on stream. I thought Skarmory went extinct. Went extinct in like Season 4. And he was one short of Brave Bird here, so I know this is just the Sky attack. And you're going to see me actually overfarm more, because I kind of want to give less farm to whatever comes in if he lets this go. So I throw the Avalanche, knocks out Skarm, and he's actually forced to throw a Dugong, which is really nice for me. I decided to come in here with Emp, just because I'm going to resist this very heavily. And there's an S-Cav in back, so I'm simply just going to throw this Hydro to probably get the final shield. And then I'm going to swap into Cargo. And since I still have a shield, this is very convincing. I probably can just farm down. Don't even need to commit a shield. Or, don't even need to throw a move, rather. Will the third Incinerate KO? It will. And we go for the Overheat. I think it does more. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Overheat still does more, even when it's one stage less effective than Rock Tomb. Just because Overheat's such a strong move, and Rock Tomb it hits okay. It hits decently hard, but it's more about that automatic debuff. Here we go, dude. I think we got like probably 3 or so more battles. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you have, feel free to hit that like button while you're watching. And we're playing Mr. Ryblet here. And it's the same situation we've seen before. Where he's double weak to the Cargo, man. Poor Ryblet. Poor Ryblet. It kind of makes sense, right? Because S-Cav is actually dealing super effective. So you would think... I swap the Emp here. This is kind of questionable. But I figure he's not going to swap Frost, so I just swap straight into my Emp and hopefully get a shield advantage here. And I just throw this Hydro right away. I don't care about timing because I just want to make sure I get this off before he Mud Bombs me again. And he's going to throw the Mud Bomb here. I'm going to let this go. I'm going to wait up my timer. And by that point, I'm hoping my switch timer is just about up. Come in with Frost. And gonna respect the Shadow Ball here. He does go for it. So a good shield. Gonna go for our own Shadow Ball. to get his final shield, and then I'm going to swap in my Macargo right away. Nothing fancy. And then I like almost freaked out here because I'm like, oh crap, wait. Can he completely mud shot me down now? But luckily he's low enough where he can't completely mud shot me down. I would get to an overheat, which would still threaten to KO. So I like unnecessarily freaked out there for a second. I'm like, oh crap, I thought I threw. But we didn't throw, let's go. We won the game of GBL. And it's on to the next one. Oh, you know what? I think I need to claim my Stardust reward. I think I need to claim my Stardust reward, man. Oh, you know what? Is Go Battle Day like double star? Is it just double Stardust for GBL rewards, or is it like double Stardust in general? Probably just GBL rewards. That would be 2 OP, right? If it was double in general. Nezabethan, a terrific battler from England. Empoleon is a tough lead for us, so we're going to safe swap the Frost. Gonna shield here. We've got all this energy, and Hydro would knock out from here. So we shield. Gonna throw the Shadow Ball. I'm gonna hopefully get off this next one before he gets off his next Hydro. We grab a shield. And we do get this off right before he reaches his second Hydro. Is he going to shield? He is. So he's going to 2 shield and farm us down. We've seen this situation before. Now our previous opponent swapped immediately, which made things pretty manageable for us. This opponent, Nez, is going to stay in and chip our Empoleon. He knows there's a Macargo in back, so he might try and save this Empoleon. I'm still going to let this go through. Yeah. And expecting the catch, I swap. But this is kind of bad. This is kind of bad. And then here's what I'm thinking as a win con. You might be wondering, why am I not throwing? I probably should be. But I'm thinking, okay. Empoleon probably comes in. I overheat it. And then maybe I can get to another move against something and then throw the Hydro I have banked. Gliscor comes in. I overheat. I get to another overheat, and then I'm going to swap Empoleon here immediately. One waterfall, throw the Hydro, and I'm hoping this is enough, plus maybe the one waterfall afterwards, and let's go, dude. Simul KO. I think that's the second, maybe third Empoleon lead we beat with this team. So if you're wondering, Rise, what the heck do you do for an Empoleon lead? We swap Frost, bro. And they usually stay in. And we go from there. Brutal is the next opponent. Macargo lead. Oh boy. So obviously this is neutral, but it's the same Pokemon. And we do win CMP here, which is pretty nice. I grab a shield, and I'm going to predict that this is Rock Tomb and not Stone Edge. So I'm actually willing to take it. That's about half. Super effective. I know there's a good chance he catches here, but he actually doesn't. It's another CMP. So I throw the Rock Tomb, chips him. I'm wondering if I should shield or not, and I'm like, I don't know. I do shield, and like the catch here is so predictable, so it's kind of tough because... But the awkward thing, right, is if I don't throw, then I potentially let him win CMP. The thing is, though, he catches on a Dugong, which I'm perfectly okay with. I'm going to swap in Emp. But was this the right swap? Maybe I should have gone in Frost. It all depends on what's in the back. He is weak to water. Could have, like, some of his own water type, or maybe like a Lapras in back. Icy Wind doing absolutely nothing to us. And I'm just going to commit to a complete farm down, complete waterfall down at this point. Another Icy Wind. We're double debuffed. Does Dugong get to another? It does not. We're at double Hydro, so I'm just getting ready to throw Hydro immediately. And it's a Frostlass. Unfortunately, we are double debuffed. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just hard swap Macargo. And this is totally fine, because I just let this go, and then I waterfall down. So pretty simple there. Pretty simple. And now we've got even more energy. Just throwing Hydro right away. Should have done a waterfall there technically for proper timing, but I think I just kind of felt like I had this game sealed at this point. And I have the Hydro loaded. And I'm like, no. He baited me. And then I was really upset that I got Avalanche baited on my Empoleon. But we won the game, so. He got the bait flex. We got the win flex. And that's 100 battles. Dude, how perfect is that? That's the last battle of video. It's a 5-0. And it's the 100th win in the GBL research. That is crazy. If you didn't already leave a like on the video, I mean, I think that's a pretty convincing reason to like. That's like pretty aesthetic. I don't know how to phrase it. But we collect our Stardust. We claim, and look at that, man. 28-34. Starting to approach that legend ranking this season. And once again, like, my elo is probably towards the higher side. I think I saw the highest I've seen on Twitter was like 29.85. So I think some people are pretty close to legend right now. I don't know if anyone's hit it yet. Maybe like when I'm recording this right now, someone's posted legend on Twitter. But we're getting up there. If you're still, I don't know, 2,000, if you're rank 4 because you're taking your battles slowly, don't be discouraged. The thief of joy, comparison is the thief of joy. We all do it. Whether it's like physical or like financial or something as silly as fainting each other's Pokemon in the Go Battle League. Just run your own race, try and improve every season. And we had a pretty good day, so we're sitting at 28-34. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Comment down below. All comments are appreciated. And all that said, thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.